So a very good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are, and welcome on this special breakout session on MSIX Package, the future of application delivery in Windows Virtual Desktop. So I'm Christiaan Brinkhoff. I will be your presenter for the next 30 minutes, and I'm part of the Global Black Belt organization within Microsoft for Windows Virtual Desktop. So I'm pleased to be your host today, and if you want to stay up to date and connect with me, you can do that on LinkedIn, obviously, and at Twitter at Brinkhoff_C. So please do, and I'm happy to connect with you after this session. So one thing that I receive quite often when I talk with the community about MSIX Package is that they respond when they find out what they can achieve with MSIX Package, is that it is a real game changer. It's really disruptive how we do application delivery in existing traditional VDI and RDS environments. And how you can be more efficient and how you can do it differently. That's something you will learn in the next 28 minutes from now. But before we do that, let's zoom a little bit more into what the community currently is doing in terms of application management and application updates and image updates as part of their traditional VDI or SBC or desktop virtualization environment. So as part of the VDILIKEAPRO survey, where I'm part of together with Ruben and with Mark, 695 participants of this VDILIKEAPRO survey of 2020 responded as part of the question: how are Windows operating systems and applications installed, updated, and managed on your platform? And as you can see, more or almost 30% responded with updates are done manually in the master image, which is not very efficient, right? So MSIX Package can solve that in a very good, positive way for you, because just to give you a sneak preview of what you will learn, it separates the applications from the operating system. So it sounds really cool, right? So let's walk and talk you through that later on. But first of all, I would like to share as well what the community thinks about what their most important Workspace EUC initiatives are for 2020 and 2021 plus. And as you can see, after Desktop as a Service, application container technologies such as MSIX Package are the runner-up, the number two that is most on top of mind of the community to test and to implement in their environment. And that's exactly what this topic is all about. So sit back and relax, and let's jump into the concept of an end-user compute environment. So if you are familiar with an end-user compute environment, those three main components are very familiar to you. But just for everybody, to have everybody on the same page, the three main components of an end-user compute environment are the operating system, applications, and user-defined data. So basically the user profile. And all those three components come together, and that's mainly what you need to manage, and that can create some challenges inside your desktop virtualization environment. So if we zoom a little bit more into a virtual workstation or a virtual workspace or Windows Virtual Desktop virtualization environment, we make it possible to separate the user profile from the operating system, and we do that with the FSLogix profile container technology. So I hear you thinking, what about the apps, right? So profile containers gets us halfway there. We can separate the user profile from the operating system, but the applications are still needed to install inside the operating system, inside the image, as of today. And with MSIX Package, within the public preview that is active right now, you can separate the applications from the operating system, as I just called out. But just to give you a rough introduction on what we do with the user profile, is with the FSLogix profile container, we separate the profile and we store that on an SMB storage location. So that could be Azure Files or Azure NetApp Files as an example, but any other SMB storage location is supported as well. And we use a filter driver that works over block-based and streams the profile directly to that storage location. And because it's block-based, the size of the profile doesn't matter. So if your profile is 20 gigabytes, your profile logon duration is still if you accommodate your IOPS and the latency correctly, still 10 seconds on an average. So it's a real other game-changing and disruptive way in doing profile delivery as part of your desktop virtualization environment. So that's something we already do with the FSLogix profile container, and therefore the Office 365 support is basically the same in terms of an experience perspective on Windows Virtual Desktop. So what about the apps, right? So how are you managing applications on a shared or a pooled virtual machine as part of Windows Virtual Desktop? So how can you deliver your apps more efficient to your end users? So we have 3 options for that, and 2 of them are currently in GA and completely production ready. And option 3 is MSIX Appetite, which is currently in a public preview. So the first option that I would like to highlight is that you have the possibility, of course, as I said in the survey results, to completely manually create new versions of applications and put all the applications inside as part of your department, and maintain multiple images and do just the installation and updates of the applications yourself manually. The huge caveat of that is that you always, when you do an update, remove all the users from the environment, promote the new image, and log all the users back on. So not very efficient, right? So option number 2 is combine option number 1 with app masking from FSLogix. With app masking, you still need to install the applications inside the master image. However, you can make it possible to completely hide applications from other users and create redirection rules of files and folders, all kinds of like enhanced stuff that you can do on top of your option 1 image structure, your procedure to optimize it and to create a more secure way of assigning applications to your users. So that leaves me up to option number 3, which is our modern way, our new way of doing application delivery, and that's MSIX Appetite. And with MSIX Appetite, we make it possible to separate the applications from the image, and you can store that as well in Azure Files or Azure NetApp Files, and you are not touching the operating system with that. So you are not consuming any data off the operating system disk. You consume that separately on a virtual hard drive that is also called the MSIX Appetite container. So we containerize the applications and we use the MSIX Appetite technology, but MSIX as an application virtualization technology. So you basically don't have any footprint on the operating system with that. So I will walk you through how it looks and feels and how you can use that in a bit. So before I do that, I would like to call out one more thing. So if you have any legacy applications in your environment that only run on Windows 7 or Windows Server 2012 or 2008 as an example, we have a service for you that you can leverage that is called the Desktop Aperture service, which is free as part of your M365 licenses. And with that service, we help you as part of an internal Microsoft Fast Track team to migrate your applications from like that legacy old operating system to Windows 10 single session, Windows 10 Enterprise, and as well Windows 10 Enterprise multi-session. So it's a huge acknowledgement from Microsoft thinking in the customer and making applications better work directly on a new modern operating system, which is Windows 10, of course. So if you're interested in that, please go to aka.ms/aperture and find out what you can do and how you can register to sign up for this great service. And you can use it as well in conjunction with MSIX Appetite as an example if you want to. So just a heads up that we can help you on making your applications compatible on Windows 10 as well. So let's jump into the topic of today, MSIX Appetite. So I'm very happy to present this service to you because I'm very enthusiastic about this. So let's talk you through the MSIX Appetite process flow first to get a complete understanding how this service works. So as a Windows Virtual Desktop user, you type in either the web URL or you go to the Windows client. And if you log on to your Windows Virtual Desktop environment, you go to the Windows Virtual Desktop Workspace and you go to the host pool. There will be a random session host assigned to your user session, and then as part of that, your user profile will be loaded, your FSLogix profile container. So you get the same user profile experience as you had prior to your logon. So we separate the user profile, and with MSIX Appatech we do that as well with the applications. We can store that on that same file share, Azure files or Azure NetApp files. So it's a very efficient way of separating the user profile and as well the applications from the host pool, from the session hosts. So if we zoom a little bit more into a traditional application delivery structure, on the left side you see a traditional, like more personal desktops environment. So you see that in a traditional like VDI or SPC or RDS environment, mainly customers are creating multiple VMs, multiple golden images with like a subset of applications installed on that image per department, as an example, for sales, HR as an example, and then like a subset of applications are manually installed in that. So it's not a very efficient way to do. So with MSIX Appatech, we make it possible to separate the user profile with the FSLogix user profile container by roaming the profile via that filter drive technology. And we do the same thing with the applications. So as you can see, there's only one golden image for all your different flavors of departments. And you can, based on Active Directory, Azure Active Directory or Active Directory groups, you can assign multiple subsets of applications to a specific department while just using the same golden image version. So way better and more efficient way of doing the assignment and the creation of multiple images, because you can just work towards one golden image and update that with other features that we have as part of Azure, like the shared image gallery or Azure Image Builder as an example. So how does the MSIX Appatech procedure works in more detail? So what is the terminology behind it? So first of all, you need to create an MSIX virtual application. You can do that yourself, or the ISV vendor most likely will give you the MSIX Appatech container directly, so you can just mount it to your session directly without doing the preparation work. But I will explain you as well what you need to do to create your MSIX Appatech container yourself. So when you're done with that, you will expand your MSIX package into a virtual hard drive. So you do that with the MSIX MGR tools. So you can expand that, and then you convert an MSIX package into a virtual hard drive, and then you have an MSIX Appatech container. The next step is the staging step. So you basically pre-mount the MSIX Appatech application to the session host. So the mounting process means is that the virtual hard drive is virtually mounted to the session host and it's stored on Azure files, as an example. So then the registration of the MSIX application starts. Basically the manifest file that is loaded into the operating system, and it makes the application available as it is a locally installed application inside the session host. After that, you can decide as well, or basically in the same procedure, you can decide to delay the registration, because basically you have dependencies of other versions of or a plugin that is dependent on the core application itself. So you have as well the option to delay the registration because of that, but that's optional. And after that, you are allowed to use the applications as they are locally installed as part of your session host. So this is basically in like 4 mandatory steps what you need to do, with 1 extra optional step to delay the registration. So what do you need to do, or how does it look if you want to create an MSIX Appatech application container yourself? So you need to first install the MSIX packaging tool. That's free available. You can just look it up in the Windows Store, and if you open it, you will see this menu. So you obviously need to create a new MSIX Appatech or MSIX package, not an Appatech. That's something we do later on. And you can just create your package here. And if you run through and towards that procedure, you give in a package name, you give in a certificate that is needed for that to sign the application. Most likely that's a part of your common name of your organization. So for example, your organization is called Contoso, then the common name on that certificate is Contoso, and you can assign that with the private key to the application. And then you package the application, and then the installation of your setup runs. And as the outcome of that, you get an MSIX app or an MSIX application package that we eventually will convert into an Appatech container. So what do you need to do to create that MSIX app attach virtual drive, that app attach container? So first of all, you need to create a virtual hard drive. So you can do that via disk management or via PowerShell by the commands that you see on the screen. New VHD, you can give it a size whatever you want, depending on, of course, the size of your application. And then you need to format the virtual hard drive as well. So if you are done with that, you need to convert that MSIX package, that .msix package that you created out of that packaging tool that I just explained, into that virtual hard drive. So you can do that with this command MSIX mgrx, and then you unpack that MSIX package into that virtual hard drive, that VHD, that you need to pre-mount. And as you can see, it applies as well directly the writes, the CLS, the ACLs, for that specific application directly. So that's basically all the pre-steps that you need to do. So this is an example of the pre-staging procedure of the MSIX app attach application based on Notepad++. So if you are interested in the complete script, this is just like a couple of lines. You need to go to the link below here, and that points you to the complete script that you can use for that. So as you can see, you need to define the source. In this case, that's Azure Files, and that's where my Notepad++ application is stored. And as well, the mounting, the UI, the UID of the virtual hard drive needs to be listed here as well. And with this step, it mounts the disk to your session host. So basically pre-mount it before we do the registration. So after that, we do the registration of the application. So you register the MSIX application, the package, inside the session host with it. And that can be done with this command. So you basically, as part of your package name, create a junction point inside your session host that goes to the program files Windows apps application folder, and then it creates and loads the manifest file, and after that the application is locally available as part of your session host, and the user doesn't see or know any difference between this MSIX app attach application in comparison to a locally installed application. So it sounds pretty good, right? So as I said, if you are interested, please take a look at this link here below. That points you to the public preview documentation, and that states all the steps that I just explained in a more detail as well. If you are more interested in a community kind of article, please go to my blog. I wrote an article completely on MSIX app attach, how you can do this as well, a couple of weeks back. So that leads me up to the next topic of today. Store your MSIX app attach applications on Azure Files. So the great thing of Azure Files is our SMB storage version of your storage account, which is a platform as a service solution as well. So you are not responsible of spinning up machines and create your own storage infrastructure. It's all part of a platform as a service solution. So you only need to create a share, and based on the SKU, you have the possibility to increase the performance needs like IOPS or latency while moving from standard to premium storage. And the other good thing is that Azure Files with Active Directory support for AD support, what we use for as well the Pro for Container and as well for MSIX app attach to store the applications in, is now general available. So it's like production ready, and it is now released on the 11th of June, so not so long ago. So you can use it in your production environment for the Pro for Container and as well for the MSIX app attach containers. And how that looks is if you go to Azure Files and you configure a new like share for MSIX app attach, if you do that for your Pro for Container, you will see the Pro for Container stored over here, as you can see on the screenshot. And that creates a very easy way to do backups as well via Azure Backup, and a more efficient way of storing data, because you're not responsible for the underlying infrastructure anymore. So if you want to create and make your Azure Files storage account available inside your Active Directory environment, you need to run this command. This is part of the commands, the prerequisites that you need to run to make possible to use Azure files inside your Active Directory environment with as well NTFS ACLs based on your Active Directory environment. So if you run this, you give in your resource group, computer account type and the storage account name, and as well potentially your organizational unit where you want to create that storage account in that computer account to simulate the traffic between Azure files, Azure AD and Active Directory. You need to run this command, and when you're done with that, you will see that in the properties of your Azure files storage account, you will see that the Active Directory status is set to enabled, and the joint domain is your local your Kerberos, your Active Directory environment. So this, if you run that command, that cmd from this slide, and everything run properly, you will see this status coming back, and then you know that your steps run perfectly fine, and you can go to the next step. And the next steps are around assigning rights to your share. So that needs to be done on RBAC level. So IAM rules are needed for that. So if you are an administrator, you need to assign the elevated contributor rights, the SMB share elevated contributor rights to set up rights on the share. And if you are just a user, you need to have at least the SMB share contributor or read rights to access the share. So be aware of that. You can do it via the portal, as you can see on the screenshot. You can do it as well via PowerShell, via the new AZ role assignment commandlets. So whatever fits best to your needs is possible to assign. And after that, you can take over with NTFS rights while going directly to the UNC share path to Azure files and change the NTFS rights from there as well. And what you need to do, if we talk about the FSLogix profile container, we need to change the VDILIKEAPRO location part of it as well to the Azure Files location. And in case of MSIX App Attach, we need to change the pre-mounting script to the new Azure Files location as well. So that could be a different file share than the FSLogix profile container file share as well. So let's switch over to a quick demo because I talked a lot already about the great benefits of MSIX App Attach and FSLogix profile container. So how does that looks and feels from a user perspective? So this is an Windows Virtual Desktop environment that goes to my desktop here that is activated with MSIX App Attach. So the great thing right now is as well that since we released Windows 10 2004 is that since that release is available for everyone, you can use MSIX App Attach or MSIX inside the core operating system already. So no insider's preview is needed anymore. And as you can see, my profile container from FSLogix is assigned here via Azure Files and loaded. And that's basically the first component that is separated from the operating system, as I explained earlier. So now we're gonna search for VLC and Notepad++, and as you can see, they are not available on this session host. No local app available. So with the MSIX App Attach pre-mounting and registration process, we mount and register VLC and Notepad++ to this session host. So that's something I will start right now. So I start the scripts, and as you can see in disk management, my MSIX App Attach containers for Notepad++ and VLC are loaded, and the application is now locally available inside my session, as it is a local installed application. So you can do that with any other line of business apps in your organization, and you can store them as well, as you can see on Azure Files. So if we switch over to Azure and open our storage account and go to Azure Files, you can see that my FSLogix profile is being stored here. So you can see my FSLogix profile on Azure Files, and as well my MSIX App Attach applications over here. So that's the efficient way of doing the application delivery and as well the application storage, because Azure Files release yourself as well from management effort and maintaining effort in a comparison from a traditional storage environment. So we talked a lot about what MSIX App Attach is. You experienced the demo. So what are our like our Microsoft milestones on this service? So currently the MSIX technology, application virtualization technology, is available for everybody. As I said earlier, in Windows 10 2004, so the new May update, we made it possible to use MSIX and MSIX Package inside that operating system. So if you want to test the public preview of MSIX Package, please use that build of Windows 10. That makes it easier to start with this this product, because the APIs are injected inside the build of Windows 10. So what is coming soon is integration with the new Windows Virtual Desktop ARM portal for MSIX Package. So think about that you can select your MSIX Package applications as part of your application groups, as part of your ARM-based portal, your setup of your Windows Virtual Desktop workspace, and you can directly configure it from the Azure portal from there as well. So that's something that's coming soon available. If you are interested in that, please let us know. We can onboard you as a customer into the private preview of that. And looking ahead, in the near future, we will move into a public preview of MSIX Package into the management experience of the ARM-based portal of Windows Virtual Desktop very soon. So great milestones, and we are very happy to hear such great feedback already as part of the public preview of MSIX Package. So before I stop and share a huge thank you with you as part of the participation, I would like to share some resources and links, and as well some homework, of course, with you around everything what you learned here. So if you want to learn more about MSIX Package, please go to one of the links above. So aka.ms/MSIX and WVD is a great resource. aka.ms/Azure Files FSLogix is a great resource for the enrollment steps of making Azure Files available for MSIX Package, and as well the FSLogix profile container technology. If you want to get help on your deployment or support, please sign up for the Windows Virtual Desktop Tech Community page or the MSIX Tech Community forum page. You can learn a bunch from other people inside the Microsoft community. And as well, of course, if you want to learn more on Windows Virtual Desktop, the new ARM-based updates that we did, as well as the Spring 2020 updates around Teams, audio and video uploading, please go to our Windows Virtual Desktop overview documentation on aka.ms/WVD. If you want to stay informed, you obviously can connect with me on social media, but another great resource for that is go to the roadmap, public roadmap page of WVD. So go to aka.ms/WVD roadmap, and all our public roadmap items are listed over there. So great resource as well. And if you want to deploy Windows Virtual Desktop, the ARM-based model, go to aka.ms/deploy Windows Virtual Desktop to get a very detailed procedure for that via our tech community website, which is a blog article that I wrote earlier. And last but not least, we have, and as you probably know, great Microsoft Mechanics video available, and we now have a certain playlist available as well for the new Spring 2020 and ARM-based updates around Windows Virtual Desktop. So please go to YouTube and search for Microsoft Mechanics, or go to microsoft.com/mechanics. So with that, I would like to thank you very much for participating in this session. I hope you will learn a bunch at the next sessions of today, and be safe, and hope to see you at one of the virtual future events, or hopefully physical events of Disrupt. So thank you very much for participating. Thank you.